Here's a question I get all the time. How much should I charge for a 60-minute presentation or even a 30-minute presentation? And as a matter of fact, I was in a Facebook group and somebody asked, how much would you charge for a 90-minute presentation to 20 people? And I'm asking you that question. How much would you charge for 90 minutes to 20 people? I'm going to dive really deep into this particular question. So let's get on to the show. This question I get asked all the time. And you may not like this answer, but this is the honest to God true answer. It depends. It depends. And I will tell you that this Facebook group and this particular post, there were a lot of comments and a lot of people were saying, it depends, it depends, it depends. But also, there were a lot of people saying, all you people saying it depends, could you just give an honest answer or don't share your thoughts at all? But the truth is, it depends. And one of the answers that I gave is that it depends is the right answer because there's a lot of missing information, a lot of missing information that it's hard for me to give you an answer to that. So let's just start off with how to answer this question. I'm going to give you stuff to think about. It's a different answer if you're a professional speaker versus you are a coach, a service professional, a consultant, etc. And there are different reasons why you're speaking. If you're a professional speaker, like you being on stage, your time is money. You being on stage is how you earn an income. Sure, there's some stuff that happens in the back end, but we're not going to dive into that right now. So if you're a professional speaker, you have your national, international, and maybe even virtual rates. So it's an easy question whether you're speaking for 30 minutes, half hour, a keynote, a closing keynote, even a breakout session, maybe even a workshop, a full day, a half day. You already know what you're going to charge. It's not like there's a going rate for 90 minutes. It's what is your rate? So that's a professional speaker. They've already got all these numbers. And as professional speakers, and that's the world that I came from before I came into the online world to teach coaches and consultants how to write and deliver amazing presentations, I had a fee. And I also had ways when somebody didn't have the budget for my fees. But that's a completely other topic. And if you want to learn a little bit more about that, go listen to the behind the scenes. It came out sometime around December of 2023, depending on when you're listening to this. It's a behind the scenes with a very large insurance company. And I literally walk you step by step through the entire process, the months that I worked with them from beginning to end. And I talk more about the budget in that particular episode. So let's say you're not a professional speaker. You are a coach, a consultant, a freelancer, service provider. You've got an expertise that somebody they want to know more of. They want to bring you in and talk to this audience. Big, small, medium. How many people are there doesn't matter. What does matter is, why are you speaking? And that is like one of the first questions you should be answering. Why are you speaking? What is it you hope to get? Like, what's your goal for speaking to this particular audience? What do you want to get out of this? And and this is something that I teach all of my private clients and also my students inside in-demand signature speech. And it's an exercise. It's like, before you even start writing your presentation, I will hold my hands together and say, let's pretend that there's a gift in your hands. What is the gift that you want to give your audience when you are done speaking? When the applause has ended, what is that gift? These are the goals that we need to start with when crafting a presentation. So there's lots of reasons why you might be speaking. You might be like, this is great visibility. You've heard me say over and over again. Sometimes I feel like a broken record, and that's good. But speaking is the fastest way to grow your business. Speaking's the fastest way to grow your email list. Speaking's the fastest way to call in the right people. So when you're speaking, again, why are you speaking? At this particular time. So when you're speaking, you have to decide what are your goals. So that's why answering this question is not so cut and dry. Maybe you're just getting started. I just want to talk to and be seen by a group of people who are my ideal clients. And you've heard me say before, and I'll just share this again in case this is like the first episode that you're ever listening to. But every time you speak at an in-person, a virtual, or even like somebody's private community, whether that's a mastermind, it's some sort of a membership, it could be a private Facebook group, everybody who's in there has raised their hand to say, I'm interested in this topic. I'm interested in learning more about what you're going to talk about. I'm even buying a ticket. I'm going to spend time with you. I want to solve this problem because I have this problem in my life, in my business, and I want to solve it. So you might just be doing this for visibility reasons. Maybe you need some pictures to show you speaking. That's always that social proof. You could be speaking for testimonials, for some video. You might be speaking for clients. That's one of my favorite. I want to help more people. And I want to call in the right people to work with me. There's always an exchange of value. You can get paid on the front end, but you can also get paid on the back end. And I think getting paid on the back end is actually more lucrative than getting paid on the front end. So in other words, you get to decide, and remember, I never say you speak for free, you speak for no fee. And when you speak for no fee, if you're one of my clients or one of my students, you're going to have like a speaker agreement. And inside that speaker agreement, it actually states what your speaker fee is. And you use the speaker agreement even for the events that you're not getting paid for. Why is that? Because all of a sudden they're going to see, oh, that's what their normal fee is. And we got them for what? It increases the value of what you're actually going to be speaking about. Suddenly, like whoever's introducing you, or maybe there wasn't somebody who was introducing you, and suddenly now they actually are going to introduce you, they are going to make sure, it just increases the value of what you're going to be sharing with the audience. So don't underestimate, speaking for no fee and still using a speaker agreement because you're letting people know this is what my normal fee is. And again, inside my speaker agreement, there's always an exchange of value. If you type down below, I will share a link where you can actually get a copy of this. The other thing that I want to share with you, and I want you to think about, what's the relationship of the person who is asking you? Now, why is this so important? Is it a stranger? Because they could just be fishing for information. Could be a meeting planner, could be some other secret disguised speaker just wondering, how much would I charge? Maybe they're looking for the answer. Is this somebody that you know? Is this somebody who has seen you speak before? Who booked you to speak? Who hired you to speak? Is it somebody who was in the audience? Is it somebody who's on a committee for a conference? What is the relationship of the person who is asking you? Because that is also going to dictate a lot of information. In other words, I had a client who we had just started working together, and she actually got this email that they wanted to know what her hourly rate was. And I told them just like, well, you don't have an hourly rate. I was like, you need more information. You need to get them on the phone. So she sent a very nice message back, giving them her calendar link. No reply. So it might have been somebody, this is my perspective, might have been just somebody that was just fishing for information. And if somebody is just going for cost, then that means they're just looking for the cheapest speaker. Probably. I don't know that for a fact. But if that's what's like the first thing that somebody is asking, how much do you charge for 90 minutes? And there's the whole 20 people, it almost sounds like, well, there's only 20 people that are going to be in the room. It's not like there's going to be like 500. It shouldn't make a difference to the number of people. If anything, a smaller group is actually going to get more out of a presentation because you can actually really cater it to those 20 people versus if it's an audience of 50 or 100. Is there travel involved? Is it national? Is it international? Is it going to be virtual? What time is it? I mean, there's so many variables that we just don't know. So what I want you to actually do is to actually think about, what is your speaker fee? What do you want to get paid when you speak? And being the sort of speaker who you might be thinking like, well, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, I want to speak for clients. So I'm going to be a no fee speaker. And that is a business model. You can decide if it's local, I don't charge. If it's, I got to travel, there is a fee. Maybe they just travel, they pay for your travel expenses and your hotel, etc. That's not unusual. I have gotten paid locally. Wait a minute. I'm thinking of this one particular time that I want to share with you. I didn't get my speaker fee. They did pay for my hotel room because it was a 3-hour drive. And they did allow me to have a table for this conference. It was a 1-day conference, and sell my books. And I had reached out to them because my new book was coming out. So I was basically doing like a little book launch and going around to different places and talking about my book and selling my book from the stage. And that was in my agreement. Again, you can like check down below in the show notes. There'll be a link so that you can actually find a copy of my speaker agreement. It's a very low cost, and it walks you through the 3 different areas of the agreement. And there's a video that walks you through this as well. And then you can like use this. And the best part about using a speaker agreement, is you look like a pro, even if you've never spoken before. So in the end, you have to decide. And this is why I always say, like, the most common, response that I have to clients, to people asking me questions about speaking is, it does depend. It depends on several other variables coming in. So I will ask you further questions, or I would say, like, if you were my client and you said, like, hey, how much should I be charging for speaking for 90 minutes to these 20 people? I would tell you it depends. It depends. Do you want to just speak and get paid for your 90 minutes? Or do you want to be able to sell from the stage, sell during this workshop, call in more clients? Because I know that there are sometimes, just like I was sharing earlier, how people will find out like, what's your speaker fee? What's your speaker fee? And people have put money on the table for me. How much would you charge for this? And then I send them over a proposal. And I have gotten back responses that say, oh, all of our other speakers are going to speak for free, so we're going to go with them. They may not be professional speakers, but as a professional speaker, because that's what I was, I would charge for my time. So you have to decide, how much do you want to get paid? How can you look like a pro? And if you're not a professional speaker, like, every time an offer comes up, it's about approaching it like a professional, but also making different decisions. And sometimes organizations, companies, associations, different meetings, different conferences, they have budgets for speakers. And that's an important piece of information to learn about. So till next time, you should definitely get your hands on the speaker agreement, or also join the in-demand signature speech waitlist. I will tell you a little bit more about that, in a future episode, but get on the wait list for in-demand signature speech so that the next time that the doors are open, you're going to be the first person to know about it. And inside in-demand signature speech, it is a 9-week program that walks you step by step by step through all the different parts of a compelling, captivating, and converting presentation. Because no matter what your speaking experience is, if you're working with me, if you're taking one of my programs, you are going to look like a pro right from the get-go, even if it's your very first time. So till next week, go be in demand.